and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this video. Well, hello everyone, and third video of the day, and we're on fire because I've just noticed that the Book of Kells, which dates from 800 AD, it's a 1200-year-old Irish book, is full of Mayan glyphs in the initials. And what I mean is kind of like things like this with strange animal heads and things and snakes and monsters in every single one of the initials, the initial being the biggest letter on the page, the first letter on the page. And we're going to prove it. I think the Book of Kells was inspired by Mayan glyphs. The Mayan glyphs are older than the Book of Kells, and that's the reason. But I mean, So what we have in the Book of Kells is birds. In Mayan glyphs are birds and strange fish monsters. But lots of birds, and a few snakes and stuff. And I think abstracted snakes. So we see snake tail, we see curls, just curls. That's Janus, two faces. But there's lots of curls, which I'm sure are abstracted snakes and wrapping around everything like a world serpent, you see. Abstracted snakes quite often, as well as faces. And there's many Mayan glyphs. That's just a selection. Now to the Book of Kells. The Book of Kells, when you start to study it, you go nuts because you see what a brilliant work of art it is. This guy was smarter than Van Gogh, or as smart as Da Vinci. So Gerald of Wales, a chronicler in the 12th century, he went to an Irish monastery in Kildare and he saw a book and he said, "My God, fine craftsmanship is all about you, but you might not notice it. Look more keenly at it, and you will penetrate to the very shrine of art. You will make out intricacies so delicate and so subtle, so full of knots and links, with colours so fresh and vivid, you might say that this were the work of an angel and not a man." And that's the impression you get reading it. It's almost like it was done on computer or something. It's such a good manuscript. So this is a picture from the Book of Kells, and like the Mayan glyphs, so here's an initial, and it's full of detail. It's unfortunately low res, but it's full. I don't know why there's a British flag there. If someone can explain what a British flag with that and that is doing in the 800 AD, I'd love to know. That's a mystery, but that is the Book of Kells. And you see it's wrapping around like a Mayan glyph. It's full of intricacy, and then the monster head, the snake's head here, looking in on itself, you see. Another one here of the Mayan style, sort of lozenge, cartouche-like style. And then these two monsters looking at each other. There's so many of these. The Book of Kells, this is the artistry that Gerald of Wales was talking about. So intricate. These are the modern versions of they sell the images online. Or something like this, for example. That they're just so intricate, so amazing. But like the Mayan glyphs, we see like the same kind of weird monsters. And they're rounded like the Mayan glyphs. What's going on? You see, this is weird. These are more from the Book of Kells, and now we start to see the intricacy that Gerald of Wales was talking about. By the way, you see that shape there? If I'm not mistaken, Pumapunku. Right? So there's a bit of something going on there. Bit weird. You see the intricacy. It's amazing. It's just. These guys were in their stone cottages on the island of Iona. They also think it might have been made in northern England. And I got to tell you, having said that, this style was emulated, or there may have been precursors to this style of chronicling art in England. I'm not sure about the continent, don't know about those chronicles. But I've seen English chronicles. The capitals look like this. They use snakes and stuff, but nothing so elaborate as the Book of Kells. This is just unbelievable. This is like Where's Waldo, Where's Wally? But even more artistic and intricate and beautiful and amazing. And you think, how did they do this? What was their motivation? The most creative people who ever lived. Just unbelievable. But as you see, monster faces. And this rounded theme like the Mayan glyphs, you see? there's some inspiration going on here. Look at this monster, this curved monster face. Look at this thing here. It reminds me of what's going on in the Mayan world. So in the Mayan glyphs, inspired by the initials, the capitals on the first pages of Chronicles from Europe, or the other way around. I think these are inspired by the Mayan version, or maybe they've always had Chronicles and the Vikings just burned them all, you know. It goes all the way back in the Mayan world and the European world, and they influenced each other. I mean, this is just absolutely incredible. These are all from the Book of Kells. Cartouche-like shapes almost, just like the Mayans did. You know, just amazing. Now this, so according to author, that's the Tiwanaku stuff again there, right? According to the established opinion, this is Jesus on the temple roof in Jerusalem, and the devil's saying, "Why don't you throw?" Or someone's saying, "Hey, throw yourself down from the roof and come back to life. Prove that you're the one." And he probably said something like, Now, if you want to get to heaven, you should not expect a miracle." But when I first saw this, I thought, well, is that a pyramid? You know, honestly, because if they are indeed inspired by the Mayans, as they seem to be to me, I wouldn't say this if I didn't think they were inspired by the Mayans. I wouldn't make this video. Why wouldn't that be a pyramid? You see what I mean? It goes on. I wanted to show you this actually in the previous video. I'm not sure if I did. Well, look, there's another initial with a monster's head popping out. But what this is an initial, but it branches into a triple snake. And the reason for that is triple goddess was a snake goddess as well. Triple snake goddess, ancient paganism. And there we go again with the Mayan glyphs. So Mayan glyphs are snakes and curls and swerves and loops, lots of loops. Oh, a bit of that, like in the Irish stuff. The monsters, and the monsters you'll see as a bird thingies. You see the birds also in the Book of Kells, but also reptiles, birds and reptile monsters. And that's what they mainly are, birds with beaks. There's a fish. Birds, reptile monsters, weird fish. And going back to Kells, it's sort of, dragon. It's sort of that thing. That theme is just happening. You see, that's a bird. Birds and birds and birds, and claws sticking out, and there's a funny cat or a snake, and more birds, and is this inspired by Mayan glyphs? Again, that's the Kells. That's the Kells. Goes on and on. And what else do we have here? Oh, look, this is the smoking gun. So this is Mayan, and it looks like there's a snake crawling out of a pepperoni pizza, and there's a human head popping out of the snake. Now we go to the Book of Kells. There we have a Tiwanaku thing, and then there's a snake with a human head on it. You see? Human head on a snake. Human head on a snake. Human head on a snake. What's going on? Also, this is Book of Kells. Is this Mayan or Book of Kells? I can't tell anymore. It's the Book of Kells, but this sort of character has claws on it, and again the monsters on these letters, you see, and then this is another version of Maya. This is the Dresden Codex. It was a codex discovered in Dresden. Someone in Dresden had found a Mayan codex, and they found this. And again, there you go. What do you think of that? Now, do you know what? I've written a couple books. One of them is probably the best ancient astronauts, one of the best ancient astronauts books ever written. It's called Confessions of the Gods. Check it out, Kindle or paperback on Amazon. And also a Pyramids book. The Pyramids book is basically, well, it's 137 photos of sites you can visit in Europe, which are prototypes of pyramids. That's an amazing book. It's much deeper reading than the other book, Confessions, but check them out on Kindle and paperback. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this, and also hit me up on Patreon. Cheers. Bye-bye.